Hi, so we are back with the tea and in the pajamas because we're doing another impromptu kind of 12-hour reading vlog. This is going to be a very special 12-hour reading vlog though, because this is the start of a series that I've wanted to do for a long time. As you can tell from the title, I am going to be reading one of my best friend's favorite books. I have a lot of best friends and I want to read their favorite books because I feel like you can find out a lot about a person and connect with them through the books that they like. The best friend that is going to be featured in this video is my friend Udi. We've been friends for like almost a year now. We bonded over Brandon Sanderson and BookTube, honestly. And we have pretty similar taste in books at times, mostly with fantasy and sometimes classics, but I have never read his favorite book, which is Princess Academy by Shannon Hale. There's going to be a second part to this video where I'm going to speak with Udi over a Zoom call, and we're going to talk about this book together and talk about his thoughts on it, his experience reading it, etc. And that'll be out the next time I post a video, but for now, you get to watch this vlog of me reading it for the first time, and you get to experience all my first impressions about this book as I'm reading it. I want to finish this book today because I want to talk to Udi about it tomorrow, but I don't know. I have a lot to do today. I have to film a video as well as film this vlog as I'm reading that book. It's a really short book. It's a middle grade, so hopefully it'll go okay, but I have to read that, vlog it, film another video, and edit 2 videos that are separate from that because I'm pre-filming a bunch because I'm gonna be unable to film next week. So we will see how this goes. I will update you when I have an update. Okay, so I am over 60 pages into Princess Academy. I'm that far in. And I can already see why Udi really likes this book, or why it's his favorite book, because I really like this book. I don't know if I ever talked to you about what this book was about. This is a story about this town up on a mountain that is foretold to have the next princess. The next princess who the prince is going to marry is going to come from this town. And so all the girls in this town between the ages of 14 and 17 are taken into the Princess Academy to learn how to be fit for a princess, basically. And our main character, Miri, is 14 and is taken into this academy to learn to be a princess, but Miri does not see herself as a princess, and she's kind of headstrong and can't be told what to do, especially in this academy setting, and things go from there. I can see bits of Shannon Hale's kind of lyrical, but not too lyrical writing style, like her very fairy tale-esque writing style. I've already read a book by her. I've read The Goose Girl, and that was in that book as well, but I can feel it in this as well. I'm also continually surprised with Shannon Hale because so many people, I think, today would write her off as a middle grade author, which there's nothing wrong with being a middle grade author. There isn't, but her books are much older than today's middle grade, and so I do think they're still good for middle graders, but they deal with a lot darker content than middle grade does today because it was kind of this middle grade / YA kind of genre. The Goose Girl wasn't that dark, but the sequel definitely was. It deals with like kidnapping and like drugging, whereas like the Princess Academy is dealing with like abuse and like just like corporal punishment in schools and like classism and just really difficult stuff at times that's really complex, and it's doing it in a really good way. I can also really see why Udi likes this because of the world building. There is a lot more world building in this book than I was expecting. There's a lot more culture. There's a lot more just complex world building, which the Goose Girl sort of had that, but it wasn't. I still feel like this is much more unique world building than the Goose Girl has, and it's a lot more intricate, and so I just wasn't expecting this, but here it is. There is a little bit of rivalry and a little bit of girl hate going on. I don't think it's necessarily for no reason, because I feel like when Miri hates girls for no reason, and there's several girls who she hates for no reason, some of them she has a reason, and one she just does not at all, other than her own prejudice, and I think that's meant to be a flaw in Miri, and so like I can excuse that. And then Miri, a lot of girls are kind of turning on Miri because, you know, Miri's getting them in trouble, and so like that's kind of like, it's understandable, like, not all girls are gonna get along, but I'm hoping we see a bit more solidarity among the girls, especially as they get farther into the situation that they're in. And I really like Mary's protagonist. She's kind of flawed, she's kind of headstrong, and she's just really different from the protagonist of the Goose Girl. Like, the protagonist of the Goose Girl is a little bit gullible, a little bit she's very perfect and kind of prim, whereas Princess Academy is not. Like, Mary is not at all that. Princess Academy has a much more flawed main character, which I'm really enjoying reading about. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to reading and I will update you on this later. I figured I'd update you. I am 160 pages into Princess Academy. I'm still liking it. I'm struggling a little bit with the pacing. I'm just ready for things to change, and I definitely felt that way with the Goose Girl too. So I think this author and her pacing is always going to be something I struggle with, especially her older stuff probably, because this is very like plot stretched throughout an academic year style plotting, which is very common in middle grade and is very common in old, like, borderline YA middle grade before YA like was shaped by things like the Hunger Games. But I think things are just about changing, and so that's really good. I'm excited that the plot is gonna progress a little bit more and things are gonna not start happening, because they are happening, but just maybe pick up a little bit and change our goals. Mary is still a really cool protagonist. She started making friendships, which is really sweet to see. And we're learning more about the magic and the culture of her mountain, which is really interesting. I don't fully understand it yet because I think it's a little bit, I don't know the word. It's just a little bit involved, which I was not expecting at all from this book, but it is really interesting. I just don't quite understand it. It's like kind of a weird mix between a soft and a hard magic system. Like, it's harder than most middle grade, but it's also not everything is revealed right now. Like, I can tell it's kind of like the characters are still figuring out the magic system themselves, and so not a lot is known about it, but it does seem to be a method to it, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. I have about, 5 more hours in the readathon, the 12-hour readathon, so I can do this. I still need to maybe start editing another video, but that might not happen because this is priority. I need to talk to Udi about this. I will update you the next time I have an update. Hi, it is 3 days later and I have not yet closed out the Princess Academy vlog, and so that's what I'm doing right now. I finished this on Monday in the 12-hour time frame. It was really good. I was really not expecting to love it as much as I did, or I don't know if I loved it, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I really think I really recommend it if you are into middle grade or into this type of book, because I feel like last time I was talking to you, I had my criticisms, I had things that I was lukewarm about, and those things are still definitely true. Like, I do struggle with Shannon Hale's pacing. Things like that are definitely true, but I was really impressed with the ending of the story. It really tightened up and it just went in a really nice direction. And I'm really glad that I read this book. I'm glad I finally read this book. I'm glad that Udi led me to this book. It's now a really good middle grade that I really enjoyed. I gave it 4.5 stars in the end. If this were not an older YA/middle grade book, then I might have given it a 4-star, but given that it is like a younger book, age-wise, and an older book, like when it was published wise, I did take that into account, and so it gets the 4.5, especially because the ending, it was probably a 4-star anyways until the ending. The ending really went that extra mile with, it is what I want from a book like this, and I was really happy with this. I'm so glad that I did this experiment. I'm so glad that I read one of my best friend's favorite books ever, and I'm definitely going to continue doing this. I think this was a success. I hope this encourages you to pick up this book if this sounds like something you'd be interested in, and I am really excited to do this experiment with more of my best friends. But for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.